Yo, peace, peace, and give thanks for allowing me to be back, man. It's been a long time coming, and welcome to RockTrue Beatz. I'm your host, Marley King. They also know me as Chris Lyon. You understand? We thank you for joining us as we rock truth to absolutely nothing at all. Rock True Beats is a cross-cultural response to the lack of choice in music today. Rock True Beats is designed to provide a sound message from theory to lab to life, while encouraging the necessity to return back to origin by way of relative keys, his kingdom principles overstand. Rock True Beats seeks to inspire, enlighten, and highlight upcoming and established local and international kings and queens, musical artists of character, while promoting Black consciousness and awareness of who we are and to whom we belong. Give thanks once again, man. Grand to be back, man. It's been a long time coming. A lot of great things going on in the world. Ups and downs, smiles and frowns. Yeah, yeah. And you
Brandon,
understand it's the day of the twos, man. The day of the twos, the duality, the duality. You understand the ups and downs, smiles and frowns. Yeah, yeah.
I
Watch out.
noticed. I noticed. I was like, oh, it's 2 2 2 2 2. This is like the dopest day ever. This is the dopest day ever. And then we get to return back on the scene with Rock True Beats. Rock and True Beats are absolutely
One and two.
yes. Yes, King, how have you been? How you been?
Oh man, life is has thrown many curveballs and brought lots of adventures to life as of recent, man. So I've I've recently started up some new ventures and such, man. And some other ventures. In my work life, this is in my personal life, as
Yeah.
far as like doing construction and drywall and driving and things of that nature. But just new ventures like that have came about, and more notoriety, I guess you say. So I'm expanding as an individual. As I continue to evolve, my businesses keep evolving, and it's been a lot, man. It's been a lot to manage, and just a lot of pressure on myself mentally. So it's like I say, I'm always chasing, man. I'm ripping and running, but it's always important to make sure that we ground ourselves in times like that, and that's one of my character defects, is not being able to slow down when I need to slow down. So something I'm working on, but nonetheless, I'm grateful for what life has been able to offer and show me over the past few months. And I'm really excited for the springtime adventures coming up here. We're right around the corner, man. It seemed like this winter went by really fast, and I don't know if it was just me or somebody else.
I'm kind of happy it's gone though a little bit. I can I've learned, you know what, one thing, and we're gonna actually get into a clip today regarding nature, but one thing that I've learned, as you again just navigating closer to God, navigating closer to nature and getting back to the root of everything, all causes, just in general, literally the root, the ground, the earth. You begin to note seasonal change prior to the physicality of it. And so one thing that I know, and it's come to my understanding and revelation that prior to a seasonal change, the process of seasonal change is already occurring. So even when, we're moving into spring, as we move into spring, summer, the process of summer is already occurring,
Already occurring.
and you can feel it. Like, so now my body is becoming more in tune with, I could feel seasonal change. I can feel change prior to it happening. When I say God is rearranging parts, you could feel it. You could feel it. But, it's again, getting back connected to nature and how important it is for us to do so. So real quick, King, I'm going to go ahead and let us play that clip real quick because it's a little lengthy. However, it is very imperative, not only to Beats and what we do, but she gives a mandate as to how to, Granddad King Ty, how are you? What's going on, Lil Ty? How to deal with anxiety and the importance of, again, getting back to root, getting back to nature, from theory to lab to life, going back to origin, especially with everything that you do. And that includes music and how that plays a role into it as well. So let's go ahead and get into it, King. Let's get into it.
Running, man. Running,
Yeah,
man. Grand.
it's
The
happening.
grand. The grand. This is now. Let me give a quick introduction for people who don't know this wonderful
Go ahead,
woman
King,
right here. This
please.
is
Shut up.
this a wonderful holistic teacher, man. Been around for many years down in Jamaica, man. And her name is Paula Herlock. and she's been so fortunate with the gift, man, to provide the wisdom, of the plant medicine and the food and the understanding of things being of us being electric beings and everything around us being fuel for the electricity. Everything around us works in frequency. And she's gonna touch on. I don't know if she touches on that in this particular video, but she's just been a very profound teacher into bringing about, a grander consciousness. Yes, sir. You already know, my brethren. I always got to give a shout out when I see. Yeah, man. Enough
Absolutely.
respect, that man. Yes,
All
sir.
right.
But
Go
let's
ahead.
let's go ahead and run the video,
Yes,
Miss
sir. Let's
Paula
do it.
Herlock, man. Run it.
Yeah. Okay.
Are not detoxing our bodies properly. So, how do I propose to look at it? I think we should take, I recommend that we take the time to go and immerse in nature. That is the best thing you can do to get rid of your anxiety. Take your shoes off so you can reconnect with the earth, right? We are electromagnetic. The sun is electric, the earth is magnetic. We are electromagnetic. If we don't pray, if we don't meditate, the connection between heaven and earth becomes disconnected. We are the conductor. Think about it. When we pray, I mean, and I'm not going to be religious here, I'm being spiritual here. When we pray, prayer is a form of commune with the divine and with nature. And so, if you were to do a visualization, when you pray, the light comes into your body through your crown chakra and it goes through your entire body and it nourishes you. And then that's a circle. It's almost like, in physics, you see the magnet and the flow of energy around it. That's exactly how it is with a human. We're here, the energy flows in, it flows down through our feet into the earth, and it's like that. We also pulling it up from the earth and it goes around. When that is interrupted or broken, that is when you have the illness. That's when you have depression. That's when you have anxiety. That is when you start to have physical ailments as well. Because one of the things that we emphasize a lot in Wellness Experience Jamaica is that sometimes illness is not necessarily physical, it is energetic. And so all you require is some energy healing. Energy healing is equal to immersion in nature. Go to the river, go to the beach, go out into your lawn and lie down, right? Go up to the top. If you're on a high building, go out on the balcony and breathe in some fresh air. Watch the sunset, watch the sunrise, watch some birds in your garden, right? So those are some things that you can do to shift your energy. You can raise your energy or your vibration also by listening to music, because music is a frequency, it's energy as well. And depression and anxiety sometimes have to do with the brain and one area being overactive or understimulated or undernourished. And so if you can stimulate the brain with some frequencies, and I always tell people, go onto YouTube and type in solfeggio frequencies, type in love frequency, type in frequency for anxiety, type in frequency for depression, type in frequency for sadness, jealousy, any kind of emotion. There is a frequency to assist the brain to come back into equilibrium. Yeah. Another thing that you can do is dance. No, dancing has always been a part of our culture as a people, melanated people. We full of rhythm. So dancing is very much a part of melanated peoples. It is something that we do naturally. We hear the drums. The drums are healing. People don't recognize that drums and rhythm are healing. And just a sidebar, in certain African countries, if any member of the tribe started experiencing signs of mental instability, they would get them out there. They would play the drums and they have to stamp their feet, stamp, stamp, stamp. If you think about it, that's like you're grounding, you're earthing, you're reconnecting back with Mother Nature and this and the vibration. So energetically, right? Mental illness, anxiety, depression have to do with the energy body being out of balance. So the dancing that we do as Jamaican people and as people of color is part of what keeps us grounded, what keeps us connected. Every ceremonial ritual for every people all over the world involves dancing. It involves sound and it involves dancing, right? So I tell people, listen, if you're feeling depressed or if you feel anxious, turn on some music in your living room and dance, right? If you like reggae, put on the reggae. If you like salsa, put on the salsa. Whatever it is, put it on and dance, and you will feel better. I mean, some people are going to say, come on, this is chemical and this needs to be medicated. No, no. Before medication, people handled this kind of thing with ease. They knew what to enhance the nutrition with. They knew what to do to the body to get it back, you know, and it so it can be done. Another thing that this might seem far-fetched and unrelated to anxiety and depression, but a simple thing like coming home and taking a bath, a long warm bath in a solution of sea salt, bicarbonate of soda, and Epsom salts can also bring you back into balance, get rid of or release the anxiety, and quell to some extent certain aspects of the depression.
All right, we'll go ahead and just stop right there. I loved everything about that. One thing that's important for me, what's going on, Shantae? One thing that's important for me was the dancing part. And seriously, as I went through, I guess you could say my form of depression, you know what I'm saying? As I went through the various things of life that was necessary to get me
Yeah.
to where I am, you know what I'm saying, mentally, you know, and to the knowledge of not only who I am, but creation. Dance, that's all I did. I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and my workout was dancing. I danced myself back to mental health. You know what I'm saying? I RockTrue Beatz back to mental health. Go ahead, King. I know you got something.
I mean, how you want me to top that, man? That's like a all-time great thing on an individual level, man. To
Yeah.
be able to wake up, man, and be able to get, because let's face it, man. Especially what Paula Herlock was talking about. We're able to heal ourselves in a sense. We have these chemicals already in our body. What we're talking about, the things that bring on anxiety, depression, happiness, sadness, these are all hormones, and they're all secreted from what we call the pineal gland or the pituitary gland. Okay, this is where you always see people talk about the third eye, and they're talking about this particular this particular structure in the brain that produces all these different hormones, man. And we ourselves, if we're able to get up and dance and start to stimulate ourselves and stimulate that brain, stimulate that release in dopamine or whatever we happen to be chasing at that particular time, we really have to look at ourselves like powerful beings. You understand? Because that's what we are. We have all of these things innately put into us, and what we put into our bodies and how we interact with the world around us. You get up and dance. That's friction. That's producing electricity. And if you're constantly into motion like that, just think of how the freak. I mean, it's so deep. If y'all are tuning in right now, it's so deep when you think about everything else besides just what we see, the physical world, because there's so many other different realms or dimensions, as we say, where different frequencies of light or sound or particulates are operating. You know what I'm saying? Let's think about this. For example, you was just talking about dancing and how dancing, getting in tune with that frequency and getting your body moving to a certain frequency. How this, realigns you, takes away that depressive moment, that state of anxiety, those somber, sad feelings. But let's think about the sun. When the sun releases what they call coronal mass ejection or solar flare, which we actually got one get ready to blast off towards Earth here pretty soon. And these things, they're unseen. You can't see them unless you look at the northern lights or you have particular modules or satellites that could look at the sun and monitor these different frequencies. It's very complex. I don't want to bust nobody's brain, but it's seriously complex. But they're able to see all these different spectrums of wavelengths of frequency. And when the sun releases a CME or a solar flare at Earth, there was a particular study done back in I believe it started in 1957 and ended in 1998, and this was done out in a province in Russia. Can't remember the name off the top of my head. I don't have my notes with me, but it starts with a K. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it starts with a K, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. But a little province in Russia, and they monitored the effects of people during. They monitored the sun and seen how many different cycles it went through, and they noticed that it had two peak seasons. One was like in the summertime from May to July, and the other one was from August to November. A particular couple seasons right there, summer and fall. You know what I'm saying? But the sun happened to release had its most activity during those two periods of time. And when they monitored the people for those particular amounts of years, they found that there was a significant increase, over 50% increase in the amount of, suicides, issues related to depression, anxiety related issues, and these were all documented by doctoral visits and such, and by people that participated in this particular study. So it was very interesting to see in this particular village how an unseen frequency from the sun, that comes in and discombobulates the satellites and GPS and stuff like that, how it messes with us as well on an unseen level. And none of us would even think that, because we're just thinking that something physical has to affect us. You have to affect me, or that the dog over there is going to affect me when it bites me, something like that. But there's so many unseen forces at work, and we have to make sure that we acknowledge these, because that's the part of getting back in tune. When you're out of frequency, you need to get back with frequency or retune, realign yourself. And I think that's very important. I know that I always go on and on, but I got one last thing to show, and then we can continue to move on. I got so much to say, man. So I just. All right, most definitely. So we understand how the music obviously plays a part in all this, because music is a frequency as well, and music was tuned at a particular frequency back in before the 50s, and when it came about in the 50s, it was changed over by the Rockefeller Foundation and General Electric. Okay, they changed the frequency from 400 and the natural frequency of music that every instrument was tuned to in the past, from 432 hertz all the way up to 440 hertz. Okay, and 440 hertz produces an unnatural frequency, and this can be documented through an experiment that showcases somatics, which is the way that sound is able to create these intricate sacred geometrical patterns in water, ice crystals, and even in maybe like sand. When you play it through a speaker and you put sand over the subwoofer, you could see the different patterns that they form. And when we see how the music is affecting these different medians, then we could see how it affects something like us as well. Something that produces frequency itself. Just think about two radio stations that are trying to operate on the same frequency. You got we'll talk about the local one. You got 88.7. The local Gary radio station. If you got another radio station that's trying to come in on that particular frequency that's all the way in another state, it's going to become distorted. We experience this whenever you cross the border. If you're traveling on the local highway here, I-94, if you're traveling westbound into Chicago, as soon as you get past the Calumet Avenue exit and get ready to enter into Illinois, crossing the state lines, you'll see like a big radio tower out there where all these different signals and, 4Gs and 5Gs are being amplified off of that stuff. Very, very sinister spots. When we start to think about nature and how nature operates in a frequency as well, and all the dead animals that are found around here and insects and such, wicked. But it's just showcasing how frequency can become disturbed as we cross from one. Or excuse me, it shows how frequency can be disturbed if we try to operate on the same frequency. You know what I'm saying? And I think people got to look at things a little bit deeper. Lastly, I know we got one last thing. I'm gonna share my little experience here recently, man, with consuming some of these electric beings. Okay, we think about food being electricity or live. I think Paula Herlock talked about that in one of her reasonings on there as well. She talked about how food, when we consume it, when it's freshly cooked or readily available, then opposed to freezing it and eating it the next day, how that drains a lot of the nutrients and the life force away from it. The life force is very, very important for that liveliness of ourselves. The cell food. We can think of it in many other different forms and ways. But this food is made for electric beings like us, and when we know what to consume and how to consume it, it becomes super beneficial to us. Now I'm going to get into my experience here. So this was just by chance. And I say the universe, you and I talk about this all the time. The universe, Jah, God, Allah, Buddha, whatever anybody calls it, man, works in mysterious ways, man. And how I came across these particular supplements, and I'm going to explain what I mean by the term supplements here in a second. But how I came across these was just kind of strange, man. I ain't heard from my brother in weeks. My brother plays professional rugby down in Houston, and he's, doing his thing. And all of a sudden, a package shows up at the house, man. And it's made for him. It was made to go for him in Houston, but it showed up at the house, and I went and took it. And I said, I'm gonna send it. I didn't know what was in it. I said, I'm gonna send it back out to you. He's like, nah, keep it, man. That's all you. And he gave me like the little Bruce Lee thing. Gave me the little head nod. And I said, this is kind of strange. Let me open it up. So I opened it up, man, and it's these mushroom supplements. So I'm not talking about amanitas or like magic mushrooms, fly, agaric, and stuff like that. I'm talking about I guess all mushrooms are medicinal, but I'm talking about like the more so the edible ones, or these particular medicinal ones that we could find locally around us. When we went out on our little forage for the pawpaw and such, some of these mushrooms were popping up in just small little grows because the temperature wasn't right at the particular time. But you were finding some of these mushrooms growing all out there. Some of these mushrooms that I've been consuming in dried powdered form. So they're putting capsules. They're dehydrated and ground up and put in capsules. Okay, this is a very concentrated way of taking particular foods or herbs or different products like so that we use for medicine. This is a good way to consume it, to really get a concentrated dose. And some people, they don't like the taste of mushrooms, or they don't like the texture, or whatever it happens to be. So this is a very simplistic way to consume it. So I've been consuming. And remind you, this has only been 3 days that I've been consuming this. And if anybody knows me, I'm a very unbiased, open-minded individual. So I like to use myself as the experiment, and I like to be open-minded. I don't like to go into something and say, this is going to make me feel like this, that, and the other. Yeah. I like to be very open-minded. It's the only way to conduct a fair experiment for everybody to reach the truth, Yeah. The evidence about it. So I started consuming these particular mushrooms. One of them was a mushroom called Shiljat. Spelled Shiljat, Shiljat. And this particular mushroom, man, is really good for like balancing out hormones into the body and being able to relieve inflammation. If we have a lot of joint pain or things like that from bad diet, or just from being an athlete or being active and stuff like that, just going for a hike in the woods like we did, man, is enough to make you sore the next day. And that's from the inflammation that's occurring, from the breaking down of the muscles. And when I was consuming the Shiljat, I really felt the the immense power of it to balance out the hormones. Mind you, like I said, testosterone been pumping all through my body. I've been flying 1,000 miles an hour, man. I'm going all the time, go from 5, 6 o'clock in the morning until 12 o'clock at night, only to sleep for 2 or 3 hours. So it's important for me to have to find that balance, and it's been tough for me to do. But I started to consume this particular mushroom and the other mushrooms that came along with it that aided with I got enough energy already, so I don't know if it's fair to say that these aided with that, but they added some type of balance. And these particular mushrooms, this blend was called the Seven Wonder, and this contained reishi mushrooms, turkey tail, lion's mane, cordyceps,
Oh wow.
and there was three other ones that I'm forgetting to name, but they're powerful mushrooms altogether. And what I noticed from taking all of these mushrooms, so that's 8 mushrooms in total, is mental clarity. That's the only way I can explain
Okay.
it. Like my mind has been very clear. I don't wake up a little, even after a couple hours sleep. I don't wake up so sluggish. I feel when I take them in the morning, I feel nice and vibrant and bright and alive. And if we think about fungi is the oldest living organism on the planet.
Listen.
The oldest living organism on the planet. You
Mhm.
know, comes in all different shapes, forms, and sizes. But give thanks to the ancestors for being able to, distinguish the ones that are meant for us to consume.
Yes.
And just just me going through that experience over the past 3 days, usually I don't speak on something until the experiment's over with, but just what I'm experiencing already, I find it so profound. And that's my electric experience. Your electric experience is dancing.
Yes.
Mine is these particular mushrooms, man. And I think
Absolutely.
for everybody, it's the music.
Ahead. Go ahead. I totally agree. And it's crazy because as we go into our small little, commercial break, or in a sense, highlighting local businesses around us, um, instead of our normal clip, one again, just RockTrue Cafe. And eating lawfully healthy foods, eating the foods that are prescribed for us to eat for the functionality of our bodies, not just for the flavor. But with RockTrue Cafe, of course, you get not only functionality, but you get flavor, and as we go through like you said, it's a test trial. So I'm not serving anything that, one, I'm not going to eat myself. I'm not going to put into my own body, because again, your convictions over your appetite, what you believe over what you crave, what he said over what you say, is important. It's imperative to your entire dynamic. So again, it starts with the mental, starts with your mentality, and it flows then into what you physically are intaking. So shout out to RockTrue Cafe. They have pre-orders available, and then also we'll be doing pop-ups in Gary, Indiana, as well as Maryville very soon, and we'll make that announcement of our location soon. Also, speaking of which, if you haven't seen me, I'm sitting over here sipping on my CKW Sports Nutritional Tea. This is the hibiscus, ginger hibiscus tea. If you guys haven't hit up Carl yet for some tea, y'all tripping. This is the most amazing tea ever. One, and then the benefits, like you saying, with the ginger that helps and aids with taking away anxiety, is so soothing. I love the taste. I love it. Like in the morning, it's very relaxing, So go ahead and hit up Carl. You see his number on there, 312-880-9566. And then that ginger kick is everything, everything. So if you're watching it on TV, go ahead and you can scan the QR code and it'll take you right to Carl's information, as well as the CK Sports Nutritional sea moss and bladderwrack gel that he sells, and that again has the benefits that are of necessity that you're lacking. So you may not be receiving everything, all the benefits that your body needs, or all the nutritional benefits that your body needs daily. This is a way to get that supplement in there, because again, this is about the functionality of your body, and to function properly, you need to take in the things that were written and prescribed. Like you're saying, King, this is medication more so than it is anything. And so we have been prescribed medicine that is for our bodies, for the functionality. You may need something more on a particular day. I may need something less. Either way, get in the necessary nutritional values that you need for your day. Also, shout out to the the Biz Magazine. We are now affiliated with the Biz Mag. Guys, if you guys need any advertising done, shout us out. Connect with that girl Olivia, so that you're able to get into our magazine. You can reach out to myself as well. Hit me up in the DM. Kingdom Customary on IG, as well as Selena K on Facebook, and advertise with us. I'm telling you, we are Black history in the making. You want to be in this magazine. I'm telling you, we taking the new jet space. Like seriously, for our generation, for our culture, today. And so it's imperative. If you need any additional red carpet services, we are here to assist you as well. I don't know if I told you. I just kind of like, I am the managing editor of the Biz magazine, and it's the dopest thing ever. I got to, participate in a few photo shoots. It was super cool. What I really loved about it was the ability to provide all of my skill set in a place. So anytime that I can take every part of my being and put it into action in any type of project, I am like in RockTrue happiness. Like it is joy for me. And I thank God for the ability to do so. Also, it is again Black History Month, but it is just really History Month. It's his story, God's story. So it's a kingdom thing. It ain't got nothing to do with black, white, yellow, brown. It is about the people. It is about that whosoever believeth, period, point blank. Rock Truth, absolutely nothing at all. This is a piece that was inspired by you, King. As you can see, the overstood. But I definitely had you in mind when I was in creation. And
always not.
It's a kingdom thing, and you wouldn't understand. And last but not least, before we get into our guest, O'Neill Financial Services. If you are in need of your tax services being completed, haven't filed yet, you still have time. You do not have to wait until March to receive your tax benefits, to receive your money. These are your funds. Hit up Vincent O'Neill in the Chi-Town area. He will assist you with this. And the reason I'm highlighting him is, or rather endorsing him, is because he helped me with so much of my tax issues that I had with the IRS. And this has been ongoing. And when I got with him, everything from back in the day, from like 2007, he took care of and got me all of my refunds, all of my money back. And so I'm just grateful. So I definitely want you guys hit up Vincent O'Neill, O'Neill Financial Services. He's also affiliated with City Tax. So my king, we have two amazing guests today, and I definitely want to bring him in and highlight first and foremost. Let's bring in Mr. Gregory O Screen, excuse me. Hey, Greg.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Respect, my brother.
I'm doing great.
That's amazing, King. So I was going to go ahead and read the bio, but for the sake of time, let's go ahead and allow you to personally introduce yourself and also introduce your projects, your up-and-coming projects.
Okay, my projects, they are out already. The Steppers Club, and it's out on YouTube. It's doing pretty good. And we brought back some things that I did earlier. Step Monster. Somehow I got connected into the Steppers community with some of my songs, and they love them. And we have one out called Africa First, and it's really good to hear at this time of the month. It's a very good song. It's dealing with the from the beginnings to the end to where we are now, as far as connecting with Africa and what we've been through and things like that. The video, if you go on YouTube, you'll see it. It'll tell you a little more. It shows you a little connection about it. So, you went out. I can't hear you.
All right, I muted so I didn't get any type of frequency issue.
Okay.
But
I see.
I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. I'll pull that particular track up for us in just a second. But please introduce yourself for us too. Go ahead, King.
Okay, I am Gregory O Screen, as I use online there. I was born in Lakeland, Florida, and I moved up to Chicago at a young age, and I was introduced to music at a young age, but in a different way. I was introduced to music basically by going to the Regal Theater, which is kind of telling my age there. But as a kid, I saw all the big acts like Temptations, Four Tops, and what really got me is when I saw somebody around my age named Michael Jackson performing. He was just getting started, and from there, I started into music. That was enough to get me going into music. I started playing organ and switched over to piano and played them both. And in Chicago here, I played at the New Progressive Missionary Baptist Church on the South Side. And from there, went into school, taught music and different subjects for going on 20 plus years. So from there, the music just grew, everything just grew, and all of a sudden music started coming out of me, and it's just gone on from there, and it's come to this point.
That's what's up, King. So we'll definitely get right into the questioning, King. Well, I'll start, and then you'll flow after King Marley.
Okay.
So the one thing that again of our interest here is from theory to lab to life, and I love how you kind of gave us a little bit of the history behind the different things you've done. And so I'll ask you, the theory of music. What is your theory, your overall theory of music? Not what you have concluded. We will get there when we start applying life, but your origin. What was your theory of life as you begun?
My theory of life with music? I just let it come into me. I really, music was something that just kind of came into me. I really can't explain it. It's something that just came to me, in which it came into me and it grew out of me. And it's been there for a long time.
I love that. King?
Yeah, I do got a quick question, my brethren. Yo, because I was listening to on YouTube, and you just dropped that Steppers mix. I got to ask, where do you seek? What is your source of inspiration? Where do you find yourself coming up with the concept? Where do you find yourself making more stepper type music? Where do you find yourself making more I don't know, maybe more cultural music? Just curious about that.
Well, the steppers came from just growing up in Chicago. That you grow up in Chicago, you go to parties, and you go to this type of party, and you go to steppers parties. And I went to all of them, and I just enjoyed it so that it just grew into me, and it grew out, and that's the way it's been going. It's hard to explain. It's been like a natural progression.
A little
I
bit.
love it, a natural progression now.
Yeah, I love it. Ooh, and that just again natural progression that is so imperative. Like you can't fake the funk. It has to be natural. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that might be the next album name. You understand?
I like that.
Might be the next project. Natural progression. You understand?
Yes.
I'm putting that. I'm writing that in my notebook. It's in my back pocket.
I like that. And I think without me even having to ask the rest of the questions, from theory to lab to life, it seems as if after application, you have come to conclusion. Like we're saying here, it is natural progression for you. And I love that. Yeah. I love that, and that is a concrete theory regarding music. You have to have natural progression. Is it? Go ahead, my king, please.
Let me go ahead and run this really quick. Yo, got another quick question for you, Gregory. Yo, so I know you're talking about you play the pianos and such, but on the recent Steppers mix you just dropped, I hear a lot of saxophone. I'm a saxophonist myself. I like to play the alto saxophone. Yeah, I'm getting better with time. I'm not a I'm not a Najee or anything like that, but nonetheless, I work with the saxophone a little bit. But do you play saxophone or any other instrument besides the pianos and the organs?
No, I get basically all my sounds from my keyboards. Now that saxophone that saxophone came from a gentleman named Audley Reed. He's a fine musician. He plays all over the world, and I was fortunate enough to get him on my tracks. And boy, he put the flavor to it so that I thank him every day for it. Yeah. And we didn't know exactly how he was going to do it. There were some notes that I wanted on there, and he put those notes in, and then we said, "Ollie, go for it." and he just laid flavor all over it.
Right, another question I got for you too. In the stages of creation, in the stages of creating a particular track, do you usually have all of your musicians, or if you got people that play instruments, do you got them coming in and working with you, or are they working from abroad? How's your recording process when it comes to that?
Usually, I start by myself, and I record most of the pieces here at home, and I say to myself, okay, well, this would be good for a sax player, or this would be good for a guitar player. But everything I usually do by myself, and then I bump it up to, I take it to another studio. I work with a guy named Joe Reed on these projects, and excuse me, not Joe Reed. Joe, I'm a little nervous here. This is my second interview, by the way. Joe Wright.
It's all right. Joe Wright.
This is my second interview on camera, so I'm a little nervous there. But yeah, by a producer named Joe Wright, and I usually go over there with him, and he'll say, "Well, we could do this with it. We could do that. Let me bring in this person. Let me bring in that person. And let's just expand it from there." But usually, I do everything at home. I make a basic format of it, and I leave room so it can expand. That's usually my process. Make a basic format of the song that I'm hearing in my head, and then I'll take it someplace else, and then I say, let's expand it. I'll add the musicians and another producer and say, let's expand what I have here, and let's see what we get. And
I love that. I love it.
Let's go ahead. One last question. I'll make this really quick, but it's just something that's on my mind from musician to musician.
Go ahead.
This is coming from artist to artist, from musician to musician, and I consider myself a novice producer. I'm just now getting into production and stuff like that. Being able to work the digital audio workstations and create use the MIDIs to create different instrumentals and different world music in a sense. That's the kind of music I like to call it nowadays. I don't like to call it rap or hip hop because I don't make that kind of music. I look at my music as worldly music. Yeah. But the question
too.
Absolutely, the question I want to ask you real quick, Gregory, is that when when I start to play an instrument, or when I hear a particular song or sound in the track, you could ride that particular sound or instrument or the vocals or just the frequency of the music in general, and it's like you channel the spirit in a sense. If you're playing the saxophone or if you're playing the piano and you really get into it and you just flow, it's just like a natural flow. I wanna get a little insight from yourself, from artist to artist. What is it like being able to flow on the keyboard like that? Do you feel like a heavy energy or the spirit taking over during that particular time? I know a lot of artists talk about this as well. I'm just curious from your perspective.
Well, sometimes it's a heavy flow. Sometimes it's a big hit. Sometimes it could be very simple. It could be a very simple start to it, and it just kind of continuously builds. And what's odd about it, a lot of times as an artist, you have to get up and catch it sometimes. There have been times it's been like 3, 4 in the morning, I'm sleeping and something comes up and I say I better get up and get it because I've missed it a few times trying to get back to it. But it's more like when the idea hits, it's like, okay, well, let it go. Let's see what happens. And I may just put it on a regular little tape recorder and then come back to it.
Yeah.
And then as I come back to it, it builds up. Sometimes the tracks just start hitting to where it's like, okay, let's put this track on. Pretty soon I got about 5, 6 tracks, and the basics are almost done.
I love that. I love the fact that, you know, like hearing that it's not just in music, it's artistry. And we're all in recreation. And so when you're talking about that, that resonates with me as well, because when I'm recreating, it can come and it can be subtle. It's a subtle impulse in a sense to do something. But then there are times when it is on you. You have no choice but to birth this baby. You have no choice but to produce, or rather reproduce. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, 3:00 in the morning, 2:00 in the morning, like when it comes, it comes. And it's imperative that in any shape, form, you're either writing it down, especially when it's just slightly subtle. But when it is to be produced, you have no choice. You can't sleep. You can't even operate or function outside of, I have to recreate. I have to reproduce whatever it is, a track, art, writing, So I believe that's a grand question, King. Let's go ahead and play this track real quick. Let's just get a little bit of it off, and then we'll move on to our next guest. And thank you. Shout out to Mr. Samuel Abram, who is also a part of the project as well. Thank you. He always promotes us. He always assures that, he pushes everything that we do in Rock Truth. And I'm very honored and appreciative of him, of our brother. So let's go ahead and play this track, bro.
Yeah, and Samuel was a part of, he came in, I said, Joe, we need a rapper. And Joe said, I got just the person for you. And as soon as he heard it, he was like, I'm in. Let's go with it. And it just grew from there. And we only had one version, but somehow we got 3.
I know that's right. All right, guys, this is Africa First. And we'll just go ahead and play the track real quick. Let's vibe. All right.
Come on us now.
All right, guys, that was just a little snippet, a little bit of Africa First. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. And let me tell you why. What's so important about that track? To me, it was like an all hail. It was like a gathering of the people, a call or a reclaiming of, again, that nation. Like everybody come together. Everybody got everybody, but not just for nothing. Let's come and praise. Let's come and rejoice. And it has a sense of worship. You know what I'm saying? Back to nature, back to creation. Marley King, what you thought?
You already know what I think. Anytime I hear some congos and some drums and some flutes, and, you know, it's it's a wrap for me, man. That's me right there. I love those sounds. It's very natural, man. It's very embodying, harmonizing, inspirational. Look, man, everybody has a different way of interpreting music and how it sounds to them, man. And then other particular songs, man, or instrumentals or sounds, they're played and they affect everybody very similarly. And I think anybody who's gonna listen to this particular project right here, they're going to be feeling how I'm feeling, man.
Yeah.
And it's
That world
something
music.
heavy, man. It's that. Oh man, about to say you pulled the world out my mouth. You pulled the words out my mouth, good brother. You pulled the words out my mouth. That's
Yes,
something
it's
serious, man.
national.
Yes,
It's definitely
absolutely.
national. It's like
Thank you so much.
everybody come gather. Everybody, like, I mean, and just it was, oh my God, it was amazing. I loved it. I love what it, brought in the feelings and the way it made, again, me vibrate. I love it. I mean, my smile just got bigger, and everything within my body, the way my body as a dancer, the way my body desired to move, it was to just about every single sound that was being articulated. I love it. So Gregory O Screen, go ahead. Let us know where we can find you and give us your closing remarks.
Well, you can find me on YouTube or any of the online channels. Um, the closing remarks is I thank you all so much, and I thank God for giving me this opportunity to be with you all at this time. And I'm just so grateful that this is happening, I'm truly grateful about it. And I hope to continue to see you all and hope to continue to bring out good music for everybody to enjoy and have a good time with.
What I'm talking about. We need more of that in life, my good brother. We see so much wickedness around us, and that's all that's shown to us. And what we need is more love, man. We need that love vibration to be cooked up, man. So continue cooking up music the way you cooking up music. It's important that we all make music that's beneficial with that love vibration, but also unique to each individual. We all make different kinds of music, but it's important to continue staying in your lane. Good brother, I love it, man, and continue on with what you got going on. You shall be. If you see some views on YouTube and other platforms, you know that's from me too, man. So always remember that.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And thank you again to Samuel Abram for, giving us the opportunity to highlight you. And
Sam's making it happen. I tell you, Sam.
yes. All right, King, blessings, grand day. We'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you so much again. Thank you for giving me the time. Thank you both.
Yes, sir. Man, that was super dope, King. That was super, super dope. Like, I love that. Like you said, them congos, it does something like just your body. I love that. I love everything about it. As we wait for Pretty to come right back on up. Again, you were going into a little bit of eating properly and diet and nutrition. Can you give us a little bit more on the importance of that? Because I saw I think it was like fungus or something. Oh, there she goes. There we go. So I just wanted to kind of not fill the void, but I don't want her to wait any further. So let's go on without further ado. Yeah, no. Let's bring in Pretty. Queen, how art thou?
Hey, how you doing? How y'all doing? What's up?
Amazing. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
That's what's up. So again, I would read all of the things that you have, done and all of the projects that you're working on. But for the sake of time, I would allow you to go ahead and introduce yourself and introduce everything that you have done musically on this journey, and we'll get right into the interview.
She said everything. What's up? What's up? I'm pretty. I kind of did a lot, but my biggest accomplishments I would say would be opening up for 2 Chainz, Jacquees, Yo Gotti, and Plies, and also started going on my own tour, and then going on tour with Twista, and also winning #1 in Atlanta for the best artist of the week. So I would say those are some of my biggest accomplishments. And I mean, as of right now, I'm pretty much doing the same thing I've been doing, just working on music, kind of like staying low key and, just vibing. I also been working on my business, which is another side of me, but that's still an important factor of what I do in terms of music. So I just got my business up and started. It's called Ari's K9 Academy, and I just train all sorts of dogs, any types of behaviors and stuff of that matter.
Absolutely. That's what's up. What I want you to do is type that into our private chat so I can go ahead and put that on a banner and just display it across the screen. King, any questions before I get started?
And keep running. I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curiously observing right now.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get right on into it. So same questions we discussed from theory to lab to life. And, you said this is what you've always been doing. And so what is your theory on music, whether it's music before, music today, or just what you have come to the conclusion? Well, not the conclusion. We'll get that to life, but what you originally theorized music to be.
I feel like music should always be an escape. Music should be something that makes you happy, makes you want to get up and dance, and makes you want to like forget about your problem. So whenever I think about music, I just dig deeper, and I just, try my hardest to make those positive emotions come out so I could put it into music. Now, I do have some times when I have negative emotions, which everyone does, but I'd rather put that into my poetry rather than my music. So it's just like finding something that gets you happy and finding something that gets you excited and going and motivational and working with that.
I love that. I love that. I love how you said it's an escape. Like the moment you said that, I thought retreat. You know what I'm saying? And that's what music is. Music is a place, it's a space for so many different artists or just lovers of the medium to go and escape from everything, everyday worlds. I mean, it's so many different genres, so many different places. It's almost like so many different resorts around the world, so many different cities, so many different flavors, so many different styles that you can go and, whatever that serve that need. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't go to Jamaica every single trip they take. Some people want to go to the Bahamas, some people want to go to Florida, somebody want to go to New York, and it's because they want those particular vibes. And I love that. I love that, it's providing a means of escape. My king?
Yeah, man. I just want to say I'm a very observative cat too, man, and I find it very. I'm thinking the right word here.
Sure.
I find it very conscious or aware of you being able to discern. All right, let's just be upfront with it. We see a lot of people making music and they put you already know what word I'm gonna use, Mary. You already know what my favorite F word is, man. But we always got a lot of people dealing with a lot of foolery, man. You know what I'm saying? And they're always putting that stuff in the music, and to understand the power of frequency and vibration and the way that this affects people, especially the youth in a lot of Black communities and impoverished communities. We see how the music has been a destructive force. You understand? It's a wicked thing, man. Words sound power. We have to understand that. Rastafari, you know what I'm saying? But I'm really impressed by the way that you was able to separate the two right there. You was able to talk about the negativity. If there's any negative emotions going on, you're able to put that in what we call poetry, and then you're able to put the more you're able to put the more uplifting. You're able to put that spirit, that uplifting vibration, that spirit into the actual music that you're creating. That's a very wise piece of knowledge coming off of you right now, man, and I got enough respect to hear that, because I don't hear most people acknowledging none of that stuff. I've been around one too many cats who I be around one cat all the time, an old elder, man, out the city, man, from the west side, man. You understand, Lexington and Lawndale, man, and he raised Twister and all them cats. You know what I'm saying? Raised these cats from a youngster before Twister was Twister, back when he was Cavalier. You know what I'm saying? And I got my peoples down in Memphis right now, man, down in the Orange Mile, who know about CMG and all these cats and stuff like that, man. Nonetheless, I just wanted to chime in and say enough respect for being able to discern the two right there. It goes to show your level of intellect, your wisdom right there, man. And continue using that, man. That's enough respect.
Yes, that's what I mean. I love that. I loved hearing that, like you said, the wisdom behind that. And I haven't heard a lot of people say, okay, I separate the two. I'm recognizing that I have these different emotions. I have these different things, because that's everybody. You're gonna go through the waves and the trials and the tribulations. But where I compartmentalize, where I properly place these things is imperative. And I didn't know you were a poet. I did not know you were a poet. Oh my God. Now that's dope.
Yeah.
So don't forget to put the RE thing in the private chat so that I'm able to highlight it, because I want people to know, where they can find you, and I want to highlight that business that you have. So again, you're out here, and I know you said, those were your highlights of touring with different artists, known artists. I would say that it should be their highlight, to be able to tour with you and highlight you. You know what I'm saying? You're just as important, imperative as the piece that you're in the platforms that you're standing on. You're not standing there without a reason, so
Man,
definitely
that's real.
Yeah, you are just as imperative. So, all right. So now that, you had this theory and, and I'm sure that's still conclusion. It seems like I know it's going to be, but as you're applying these things in the lab, in your music, or even as you're on the stage, what challenges or disadvantages are you coming up against?
Oh, it's just, you should know, it's just being a female already from the jump. And then it's also being a Black female. Then it's also being, a lesbian. So all of this is like, a challenge. Just doing music in general is a challenge. Like, because it comes with, so I would consider myself hip hop or whatever, like whatever lane you want to call it. But personally, I give myself my own lane. But people automatically put me in a lane as a hip hop artist or a rap artist. So they automatically think I'm gonna just be making drill music, considering the fact that I am from Chicago. So I just have to be able to, just like ignore that and do whatever I want to do and stick to me, who I am as a person, and what kind of image and what kind of emotions that I want to put out there to the people that's listening and to the people that's tuned in. And I got to make sure people are aware, like, who my music is for. That's more importantly. Like, I do not make music for children at all. Yeah. Like, I don't make music for this certain amount of people. Like, I have my own crowd of people, and I want them to gravitate towards me. So other people like saying like I shouldn't do this and giving me these comments and this and that doesn't faze me. I just stick to what I do best, and I'm gonna keep doing me no matter what.
You know what? I love, what you're saying. You're creating your own lane. Your gift and talent creates that for you. And to not be able to be put into a box, because music isn't that. It's these imaginary lines that society has drawn to say, oh, you're over here, you should be feeding this or feeding that, but as you continue to grow, where you are right now as a conscious rapper or artist, excuse me, because I don't even want to say that. It's an artistry. Where you are right now as an artist, you will continue to grow the more you learn, the more you come into the knowledge of, again, the music. Like you said, I have a particular audience. Okay, coolness. And then that audience may even change or even broaden up, just because, again, you're recreating a lane for yourself, but I definitely would not allow different boxes to hold you back or have a disadvantage. And that's for anybody else that is tuning in or watching. Hey, do not allow these imaginary, don't allow other people's imaginations. There you go. Compartmentalize who you are and what music is. Music cross generational lines, music cross all borders, music cross everything. So just get in tune with the music. But then I would also say too, just be mindful as well, what it is that, you are putting out there and where. Because again, same thing with YouTube. YouTube ain't gotta display this to, our children. They can have us over here, that's over here, and create an entire platform where this is where our children. So everybody ain't watching Sesame Street. I don't watch Sesame Street. So of course, don't play my music on Sesame Street. You should look for me on Sesame Street.
Right.
So I totally understand exactly what you're saying, my king.
Yeah, quick question right here. Yo, go ahead and take us through like your creative space, man. What's your creative process? Where do you seek your source of inspiration? What's composing a track like for you, man? Take us through that a little bit, a little insight.
It honestly comes at random moments. It's like, so say if I'm at a grocery store and basically a mom tells her child, like, don't do that, that's bad, right? And say she said it in a funny way or a weird way, I'm going to remember that for the rest of the day. And so when I do sit down to do something, to make music, and I get on my laptop, that's the first thing I think about. So it's basically through experiences that I can't forget, or like, something catchy that I hear. And that just feeds into music. And sometimes I even put it in my notes if it's something funny, or if it's just a random quote that somebody say that just means something to me. So that's where I get my creativeness from, like anything, basically.
Nice. Overstood. I like that. Next question I got for you too is, yo, you find yourself being somebody who writes a lot, or somebody that freestyles a lot? Which one is your more preferable style, or do you intermingle both of them?
Oh, I'm a writer. I can't freestyle.
Nice.
Like I can do anything I want, but I would rather write it and think about it and analyze it, because I hear a lot of freestylers
Not
now.
like me.
I would hear them freestyle, and like I'm the type of person that listens to words carefully, so they can say something that just doesn't sound right at all, but it flows. But if you go back and you listen to it, then it's just like, that didn't make sense. I don't want to be that artist. Like, I have to, because when I listen to other people, I break down everything they say, and so when I say something, I want them to break down everything I say and say like, oh, I get it. But I would love to know how to freestyle, but yeah. I couldn't do it if my life.
It's tough. It's tough. I understand. I went through a phase. Maybe about, let me see, I'm 29 now. About 10 years ago, roughly 10 years ago, about 18, 19, and I was charged up with the freestyle. You understand? But I was also in a different mind state back then. You understand? But when I reflect back on that now, man, it's like, was freestyle really necessary for me? It was fun, but it really didn't make so much sense, because the things we'd be talking about is just, and it's tough already to just fathom something off the top of your head and make it sound, sonically smooth, man, sonically sound, you understand? But nonetheless, I agree with you 100%, man. I'd rather put freestyle to the side, say that for a rainy day, and I'd rather write all of my material, man, from artist to artist. That's how I feel.
I totally agree too. Like, I'm with you. When you start listening in, I'm paying attention to words. Words, sound power.
Words sound power. Understand? Rastafari.
Every article, every pronoun, every period used, punctuation, everything is imperative. And so when you're paying attention to that, you know what I'm saying? And that, if you look at RockTrue, how we dissect words and break down words, because again, we like to just imply meaning and mush things together, as opposed to looking at the prefix and the suffixes or the root cause of words. And that is imperative, especially in writing. So I'm with you. Okay, freestyle, cool. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely entertainment. But I believe the RockTrue art, the art is in thinking, consciously, and writing down and paying attention to not only, what it is that you're thinking about and how you're applying it to yourself and coming out with the truth of it, but then also what you're producing out to others. So, I mean, how old are you?
23.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, wise, very wise, very wise. No, seriously. And hold on and harness that energy. It is imperative. So as we move forward into life, 23, just because you're 23, age ain't nothing but a number like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be here at 23 and never make it to 40. So what is life for you in music as you apply theory, lab, and now you're in the life of it?
I would say just pay attention and learn. And in terms of when you pay attention and you learn, also have fun. Don't forget to have fun, and don't forget that this is just music. It's just like this is. Don't get me wrong, the industry is hardcore, right? But at the end of the day, you still got family, you still got friends, you still have a life outside of music. You still have a life outside of the industry. So just always like when it comes to music, always have fun with it. When it comes to the industry, always have fun with it. But pay attention because people move real funny. So you got to pay attention and you got to be smart. And you got to pick up on game. And when you do pick up on game, you don't always have to tell people that you up on game. It's all about how you think and approach the situation. You got to be smooth with it and play your cards right.
King.
I think it's interesting how she brought it up, how she was talking about you got two lives in a sense, man. Because if somebody says, you know, 2 Chainz a wicked cat, you know, we're not talking about I don't know, maybe somebody knows what this cat's real name is, you know. We're not talking about that particular person. We're talking about that character, man. We're not talking about the individual in the that's going throughout their daily life and such, man. So I think it was important that she brought the duality there. You know, we got the character here, and then we got the real person here. You know, so it's always important to keep that in mind as well. And I was gonna say something else, but I got lost in my 1,000 thoughts, man. You know what I'm saying? But I got respect for the youth like that, man. I like to see what people. I like to see folks like yourself, man. Wise young woman like yourself, man, being able to make a way for yourself, creating your own lane. You know, I like that, man. I think it's very important.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, man,
I
respect.
think that no, for real, like you are very impressive. You know what I'm saying? And to, if people take the time to again go behind the music, behind, what it is that you're producing and see exactly
Mary, let me chime in real quick before I forget this.
Yeah, sure. Go.
I do this quite often, so don't mind me. But wanted to say something too that you touched on, man. And I was really impressed by you telling me that you write your stuff, man. You know, a lot of people, they use their phones and stuff like that, and that's extremely different than writing up your lyrics or up your song, because you're creating a spell when you write these things like that. It's creating your spell in the sense, you understand. You're spelling. It's a lot of old world esoteric knowledge that goes into that. But I found that very intriguing, man. That you write your music. You don't find a lot of people writing their stuff with pen and pad no more. I do all of my stuff on there, but that's just me. I see a lot of folks around me use telephone or some other device like that. So it's very important and wise that you're still in tune like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, you know what? If you have any final remarks, anything else that you would like to just share, especially with, people that are up and coming as artists, but any final words or any, I mean, I want your wisdom. So any words of wisdom, in music at your age and where you are that you would love to share, please go right ahead.
In terms of music, I just got to say, like, you have to, and able to gain support, you have to give support. So as tough as it sounds, it's like a give situation. So if you want a whole lot of people to come out to your shows and you want a lot of people to, play your music, you got to make sure that you checking in on them. You got to make sure you texting them. You got to make sure you asking them when their next event. You got to be there for people. And also just be smart about the moves you make. Analyze everybody like they moving weird. You got to just pick up on stuff. And also it's really important to promote. Like, even if you got say you got 5,000 friends on Facebook and you post a promo video and only 4 people like it, I guarantee you 300 people saw that. It don't matter how many likes or how many hearts you get on a post, keep sharing it. It's like people go see it, but they not gonna always let you know that they saw it, but they see it. Cause look, even now if I go on Facebook, I might see some stuff I'm not trying to intentionally ignore. I see it, but I just be scrolling. You get what I'm saying? You just gotta. And also in terms of music, yes, music is everything. Do your stuff when it comes to music, rap, go to shows, promote, do this. But also, I feel like it's smart to also have a business on the side just in case music doesn't work out. Now, granted, it's going to be some people there that say music is going to work. I don't have an option. Yeah, that's nice. Music is going to work and music is everything. But still have a business. Still have something to fall back on. Still have that LLC. Make sure your paperwork done. Make sure you got your BMI. All of that stuff. And then build yourself a solid team. You need you don't need a manager, but it's nice to have a manager. It's nice to have, you know, like a stylist like myself. Shout out to Black Diamond Dash
Come on now. Yup. Black Diamond. In the building.
Yeah, you just gotta make sure your team is solid. Like me myself, I got a manager. Shout out to that girl Olivia.
Yeah.
And you know, just be smart about the moves you make. That's all I gotta say.
I love it, my king. Any final remarks with
my final remark is simple but complex at the same time, man. Stay pretty and keep rising, man. You understand? You wise for the age, but age ain't nothing but a number. Keep on rising. Stay pretty. Stay wise, man. That's real talk.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Any upcoming projects that you would love to highlight before you get out of here?
Yes, I actually do have a YouTube page that's coming along. It's gonna be me and my significant other, and we're gonna be talking about music, politics, all of those type of things. And also, I'm the new face of Black Diamond Dash Apparel, and she will be here LA Fashion Week. And also, I do have my business up and running. So if you want to like get in tune, get your dog trained, anything like that, any questions, inquiries, make sure you email me at ariescanine@gmail.com. And that's pretty much it.
Well, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Thank you so much for dropping, so many jewels and gems, not only just for us, you know what I'm saying? That's you bridging gaps for, you know, those that are above you and those that are coming along below you, and then generations to come. And seriously, like, you totally blew me away with your age and then the wisdom that, you know, the understanding that you have. Like, seriously, a lot of people your age don't have it. And don't take that for granted at all. Continue in writing, paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Details are imperative. And you seem to definitely get that, watching the frequency and flow of other people and be like, oh, I saw that. And knowing that, having the wisdom to have to say, I don't got to say that I saw that, because, you know, I saw that too. We ain't got to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we stop acting like people are slow or something. Everybody know what they're doing. And I saw that too. So I love that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be acknowledged. So definitely your upbringing is where it needs to be to go ye therefore and continue on in your journey. So thank you so much for again gracing us. And we, you know, we'll see you later.
All right.
Blessings.
TPM. Give thanks. One love.
Yes. So that was super dope, King. Any final remarks for you for today?
Man, the final remarks is, we almost out of wintertime. We about to get back to that summertime. Me with my short sleeves and my sombrero in the backyard by the pool.
I can't wait to see a big old head.
Yes, man. Yes, man. It's coming soon, man. You know, it's been a very unique winter, man. It's been a unique year for a lot of folks and such, man. You know, the stresses and the tremors and the obstacles and hurdles that life has thrown at us, man. And you know, it's important that we all stay true, man. And I want to talk about loyalty, man, and honor and respect, man. You know, to the principles, man. You know. You know, if whether or not you're working with people or you're doing business with folks, man, or it's your family or it's your friends or it's a significant other, man, make sure that we understand what we're getting into, man. And if you get involved in something, make sure you stay loyal to that, man. Make sure you stay loyal to the game. Don't do folks dirty. Don't sweep people under the rug. Don't go behind people's back, man. Make sure that you keep it 100 with everybody, man. You know, that's only going to strengthen us up, man. There's a lot of people who I guess maybe aren't comfortable with themselves out there, man. You know, and when you're not comfortable with yourself, man, you don't want to. You cannot add to the puzzle. You know, we have to continue to build, man. And in order to build, we have to make sure that we maintain principles and morals within ourselves, man, and within our businesses and within our families and our relationships, man. I think it's very important. It's that's just coming from worldly observations, man. I've been really observing over the past couple of months, man, throughout my travels and such, man. So it's important for me to say that message, man. You know, for all the people listening, man.
The crazy part about it is I always say, like, you know, it doesn't matter what people are, whether they talk or they don't talk. I've come to find out that God has us all in the same classroom. He brings us to the same conclusion. That's the same thing that he has been, you know, bringing to revelation for me. these shady business practices, you know what I'm saying, and watching people in their business practices. But most importantly, that's stemming from your lack of character, you know,
Sure.
or the character that you do have. And so when you have character, you rock true character, everything you do, it's not going to be focused on you. You're going to make sure that you're focusing on other people, and your word is bond, straight up and down. You don't have to have contracts in place. You don't have to, because your word at the end of every single day should always be bond, man. And I think people out here, as they're, you know, creating all of these businesses, all these LLCs that you're seeing popping out post pandemic, you know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, it's cool to have a business, but hey, make sure you rocking true character. Make sure that your business practices are exactly what it should be. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people out here, I notice they get it how they live it, straight up and down. And so how you live is how you gonna come out here and get it. And if that's by any means necessary, I feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? I get it how I live it. That's upright and true north. That's upright and true. Ain't no way that I'm gonna compromise myself or put myself in an awkward position in order to make a buck. You know, and that's the same thing with RockTrue Cafe. I'm not going to join up or stay associated with somebody who is poisoning our people. And we stand for, you know, making sure that what's put into our body is lawfully healthy. It's not going to make any sense. So as much as it will look grand or beneficial to associate myself with this person, or this could possibly bring up, you know, or in a sense, it appears as if it will uplift Rock Truth and bring us to, I guess, a social status that I believe other people believe we should be at. No, it actually is going to depreciate our value if we compromise our moral.
I gotta chime into that, man, because you made a great point right there. You know, we should never compromise righteousness for somebody else's gains, man. You know, and I think it's extremely important to recognize that, man, especially in business settings or situations, man. I've been in many situations like that, man. You know, where people don't communicate properly, man, or the idea is not construed properly, or their idea conflicts with my idea, you know, and there's no median in that, because what's righteous is righteous and what's wrong is wrong, man. You know, but to each its own at the end of the day as well, man. Who am I to the judge? Who am I to judge? Let God, you know, deal with that on Judgment Day. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, we don't have to stay affiliated with stuff like that. And I find myself in my personal world, and that's another thing too. We got to be able to separate business life and personal life, man. You cannot intermingle the two. I work with one too many people like that, where they try to, you know, have a relationship with somebody in the business, or they start to bring their personal life stuff. Their personal life starts to bleed over into the business, and that causes a lot of unfortunalities, man. So I think it's important for us to be wise about all of that stuff, and, you know, move in style, man, and moving the word of righteousness, man. You know,
how you live it. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
We about to say the same exact thing. So who wants to say what?
Yeah, so get it how you live it, like seriously, and you got to question how you live it. You know what I'm saying? And every time it comes down for me, again, my directional, you know, my compass is set on upright true north. I'm not going to be in the same location where I was, you know, in a second, mentally, seriously. Every day I'm growing, I'm changing. Every moment I'm growing, I'm changing. So you're not going to find me where I was just a second ago. But where you can find me is directionally upright true north. And that's how I get it. That's how I live it. And I'm not in competition with anybody. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a rush. No. I have time on my side. I got God on my side. So there's no point in even doing all this extra stuff that other people are doing. And when you're doing all of that extra stuff anyway, that's because you're trying to sustain something that you said God gave you. I've noticed a lot of people like, God gave me this business. Yeah, but it's funny that you hustle. And when you hustle, and that's how you know who gave it to you. This was your idea. And even if it was a God-given idea, do it his way. And when you don't do it his way, you hustle it. And that's self-evident. And again, how you're getting or how you're doing, or what is the motive, the underlying factors that is behind what you're doing. And a lot of that is clout, 1, 2, money. You're doing it just to gain, and you'll do anything. You'll sell out yourself. You'll sell out your own people just to make a buck. That is not cool. So you got to check how you're even living. You know what I'm saying? What messages are you? I'm not
gonna. Sorry to interrupt, man, but I got to get this off my chest, man. Got to get this off my chest, man, because you said some things that hit that hit too hard for me on a personal level, man.
Mm-hmm.
How am I trying? I'm not gonna put out. I'm not gonna put people's names into this, man. But if if anybody's listen, if you're listening, you know who you are, man. If you hear this in a future time, you know who you are. If you're listening in the ethers, you know who you are. You understand? But you can't sell out your own people like that for profits and gains, man.
Yeah.
You cannot sell out your people. You cannot sell out the righteous work, man. If people are doing what's righteous, you know,
Yeah.
and you sell out on them, you step over them, you know. I don't understand that. That is immensely wrong. That means that you don't have any morals or principles or proper values, man. Because
Character.
we're all a team in this. Whatever group, whatever conglomerate, whatever business that you're working for, man. You know, you you're you're working with the team, man. It's important never to sell out your people. And if there comes a point in time, listen, man. If there comes a point in time where me myself, I don't want to do business with particular people no more, then
Yeah.
then I'll make sure I remove myself from it. I'm not gonna like you said. This is not about competition. I'm not trying to move away from you so that I could drop salt on your name and do this, that, and the other. I'm not gonna do stuff like that, man. I'm just gonna let it be what it be. Step away and go take care of my side of the street. So I just think that it's important for everybody to take that as a note, man. Never sell out your people for profits and gains, man. That's one of the biggest sins you could commit. And money and luxury and all of these nice things, all these material things be the temptations that people chase in life. Every day they chase to have the nicest truck, man, the biggest house, the most expensive pair of shoes. And they sell out a lot of people for that, man. We see this happening in the community all the time, man. And that stuff's got to stop, man. We need to be able to band together, man. What's her name? Paula Herlock was talking about this in a video, man. She was people always make it a big thing that, it's expensive to eat right, man. It's expensive to eat good and stuff like that. But realistically, it's not, man. Usually you see the people with the most money having the most health problems. If you go to the supermarket and watch people that live in the nice neighborhood over there, what is their trolley or their cart filled up with, man? A lot of junk food and cakes and drinks, that's created with high fructose sugars that add to disturbing the frequency, of the body. And all of this stuff plays a factor, man. And we all need to be mindful of that, because having less money might be better for you. If we think in terms of rations, or food that comes from the ground, things like our beans, our lentils, our split peas, and stuff like that. Our root vegetables, like our potatoes, our yams, our calabash, and things of that pumpkin, chocho, things of that nature. All these root vegetables, man. All these things are fairly inexpensive, man. And if you buy a big pumpkin, that big pumpkin can be used to supply food for yourself and for the most people. Hold on, what do you say? If you eat right, you eat less. The nutrients feed your body. You overstand. That's real talk, man. Don't ever let people try to trick you into otherwise, man. I'm the experiment for myself, man. Let yourself be the experiment too. Dabble into that level of awareness a little bit, so that you can understand and reap the benefits of that, man. It's not expensive to eat like that. It's only perceived like that. There's a difference between perception and reality. What we perceive is what we're thinking is going to be. I could think I'm coming on the show and you're going to rip me a new one, man. But in reality, you're just coming to say, hey, what up, Marley King? Love you, man. That's the difference between things being perceived and what's real, man. And I think it's important everybody take note of that, man. Distorted perception leads to a lot of malnutrition in the body and bad habits, and all this fear that gets pumped around. That leads to more bad food intakes. Bad diets, and those are the people that wind up with the most health problems. So let's take back our life, man. I know we're getting deep into time right now. It's like an hour 30 into the show, but that's all right, man. We needed to drop some dimes, man. We had some catching up to do and such, man. It's important for people to hear the good word. We always got some perspectives to bring about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And we'll get out of here. You're absolutely correct. It does not cost that much to eat, as written, as prescribed. Okay. As according to the order, eat from the ground, eat fresh. And you'll find, like, even when you go to the store and you're buying, foods, you'll find that the processed foods are the things that are already, whether they're cut up for you, this, that, and the other, it is cheaper to go ahead and buy the items, like, for instance, tomatoes. They have, like, tomatoes that are $2.99 that are chopped up for you, by Strack and Ventil. But they also have like 4 or 5 tomatoes that are available for you at the same price, the $2.99 price. And now you have way more. So if you just cut it up and chop it up yourself, now you have way more food. Even if you didn't, all of that wasn't necessary, at least you have something that you can give, or find another way to use it. So it's all education, it's all learning. And again, I say, just watching how people will, profit money. It's not about the people. And again, RockTrue Cafe is people over profit. I'm watching these prices increase, and then everybody posting, the prices are increased because the cost of food has increased. No, listen, it ain't
what?
It is not increased that much. It's a reason to go up on the prices and then rash out the amount of food that you're now giving. So it ain't even like you're giving the same quantity. You're lessening the quantity and charging more. I mean, like you said, this is a character and social dilemma that we have, and our morality is what's at stake on the table. So again,
absolutely.
How you live it, man, you have to question how you live it. You have to question, even if it's a business, your business practice, your overall character of the practice, it comes through that business. And people aren't really buying the product because of the product. They're buying the product based on who you are. So, forever, again, I encourage you to rock true or absolutely nothing, because it all comes out in the wash. That fake and that fraud seen easily. And we talked about that a little bit on the show yesterday, about Bedford's Law and how they're able to spot a fake. First of all, this is tax season. And so again, numerology is imperative. And so numbers is everything. It's just all numbers and codes and frequencies and stuff like that. What they noted was that the number 1 is used more frequently than any other number, 30% more. And so when they see the depreciation of this number in anything, in any area of government, when they see a depreciation in this number, they note that it's a copy of a copy, not a copy of the original. So they note that it is fake. And so don't think that you can't be seen. Don't think that you're, because to the trained eye, you are definitely not hidden in plain sight. We can see you. We are trained to spot a fake, So King, final remarks as we get out of here.
Yeah, man, let's try this one last time, huh? We done had about 3, 4 final remarks. My final remarks are short and sweet, man. It's glad to be back, man. We got a lot of heavy topics, and we probably got some great guests coming on here in the near future, man. So y'all stay in tune, man. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We're here the second and the fourth weeks out of the month. Am I saying that right? The second and the fourth weeks, or is it the first and third? Second and fourth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the second and the fourth of each month, man. So everybody stay in tune, man. Go ahead and share the link up on the YouTube. Share it with folks, man. Spread it about, man. Let everybody know that we back in class is back in session. You know what I'm saying? It's been great to be back. We got a lot of knowledge for you, man. Look, we bring in a lot of topics of discussion, man. Some things that are not normally talked about, man. We need to bring that truth to light nowadays. It's important to have reasonings like this, man. We need to be able to break it down into many different levels, man, because things are way deeper than just the surface world, man. So let's get back to teaching, man. And let me not start teaching right now. Let's wrap it up, huh?
Yes, let's wrap it up. And again, we remind you and encourage you to rock true beats. Absolutely nothing at all. Thank you to our guests. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out to Gregory O. Oh God, I just that quick, and I've been writing it all day, but I'll just call him Greg because he said Greg. Shout out to Greg. Thank you so much, Mr. Sam. I didn't get a chance to post your comment. You were saying it. Pretty has a very memorable name, and you are a new fan. Shout out to Pretty and your knowledge and your wisdom. Thank you so much for providing us with the soundtrack, the background, Africa. King Greg, thank you so much. Shout out to you, Marley King. Welcome back. It is an honor to be on platform.
Yes.
And I look forward to the projects that you are also working on. Thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. RockTrue Beatz are absolutely nothing at all. Peace.